Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we're both a bit down in the dumps today because we didn't have very good soccer results over the weekend.
Soccer, rugby, the Louis Loop walked all over us, and the Sharks, the holders of the Currie Cup, are now gone.
Yeah.
The Wallaby coach has resigned for infidelity. The Spurs gave 3 penalties away. So one of those weekends.
It wasn't a very good weekend for us either from this side of the fence. Arsenal, were worse than useless in front. And interesting that the Richard Dunn scored another own goal.
Amazing. He did it at
It's
Aston Villa.
own goal king.
Own goal king. Aston Villa, his country, Man City. He doesn't know which net to stick it into.
Anyway, let's go down to racing. We got a very interesting program, and we finish off with your call, where we have the corporate social investment program, and you know more about this than me. It's
a very good idea to bring in underprivileged children and showing them racing, and kids as young as 8 being able to ride it. They go through riding schools. They see Summerfeld. It's a very good idea. It's a part of a Gold Circle initiative, the corporate social investment project or program, and very interesting.
Well, let's go first to 3 to Follow, where we welcome officially, because we have them on the backboard now, we have some adverts from them, the Wilgerbosdrift Maritzfontein team. The Slacks have joined us, and fantastic to have them with us, and we're going to find some nice horses under their banner. Right, well, let's go to Greyville. We're going to have a look Wednesday, the 15th of October, and we go to the first race. It was on the poly track, 1,200 meters. Take a look at this race, a very interesting race. We get one of Mary Liley's runners for Tony Rivland that we think is well worth following.
Yeah, the race we found here is a horse called Fantasy Art. There it is, walks out the gate. Doesn't know much about it. You can see the green cap. And it's certainly not in the race early. It's a debut run, so apart from one of the others, I think Michael de Kock's horse, this horse is really out of the race. There are 2 of them behind it, but you can see it in the green cap, rather wide, getting a smack just to keep interested in the race, and way out of this race at this stage.
Interesting about the poly, we had a bit of rain after this meeting, and there was no kickback at all, and really the track looked pretty good the whole way through the week, when we would never have raced anywhere.
That's right. We're getting the full worth of it now, and it's good to see over the weekend we had full houses, and wonderful to see. But getting back to the race is won by Bob the Dog, who's in green, who is a troublesome horse that Des Egdes has got right, and it beats National Approval, who's in the purple cap. But have a look right on the outside fence. Here's the horse we found, Fantasy Art, still well back.
Yeah, absolutely no chance of running into the money here, but he really runs on well. Now he starts getting the message and starts getting the hang of it. He runs on past basically everything in front of him to finish right on top of them. We got beaten under 2 lengths, and I think that this horse, probably over a bit of ground, will be worth following. He's by Mossman, isn't he?
That's right, by Mossman, and Anthony had said he wasn't ready, that he'll need a run or 2, and shoot, this was a good run, because he was green, wide at the back, and very good debut. Remember the name, Fantasy Art.
All right, well, we've gone for the second one of these horses that we had picked up already, and in 3 to Follow, but the way it won over during the week on Wednesday, Estradrage is really worth having a close look at. This filly absolutely doddled in.
Yeah, this is the photo from the back of the gates. There's Estradrage, and this is in Sheikh Hamdan's colours. Now, Anthony has to make a decision. He's out wide here. He's looking to cover him up. You can see it from behind. It shows you, okay, I've got to cover it up. He's not going to get in here. So Anthony thinks, well, I can't stay where I am. This is really out wide. And he elects to let him run past him. Imagine, he's gone 2 furlongs. He's still the deepest on the track. and Anthony says, makes the right decision, runs right round them, very wide.
Well, if you look where the horses that are placed near him finished in this race, you'll see how good a win this really was. Because this filly just canters round them and ends up getting to the front, and you think, well, she's used herself a lot to get there. Where's she going to go from here? But my goodness gracious, it's absolutely scintillating what happens from here.
Yeah, here you're thinking, is how much is left in the tank? Anthony's got the long rein, letting her relax in front, trying to let her come back to herself. The dangers are waiting just behind. They've got a much easier route into this stage of the race. And just as you turn for home, Anthony goes through the 600 and he's thinking, I'll just wait to stride her 2 before I ask her to run. And nearing the 400, he presses the button on this horse.
Well, Doug Campbell's The Danger Hunger Games is on its outside, and that's had an easy run all the way to the wire, but just can't go with this filly. She just quickens up and pulls right away from him.
Yeah, this wins by a long, long way, and it's ever increasing margin. Anthony's shown at the stick, gives it a slap down the neck and changes his stick here and says, come on, just keep it up, girl. I don't know where the opposition are, but just keep it up. Here he has a little glance and realizes well clear.
I don't think he could believe. I don't think he could believe how far he was in front of them. It was an absolute doddle, and this might be a very nice staying filly to have a good look at through the season for the Mike de Kock yard. They'll probably take her back to Joburg and get her ready for something up there. Let's go to Durbanville, where we found one that's greener than the grass that it ran on. Walter Bass has got a stable teeming with talent, Jet Masters and the like, and we go to the Durbanville. It was the first race that they went 1,400 meters on that tight little track. This horse definitely wasn't suited to the track, but what a
Yeah,
run.
it's Air Chief Marshal. Have a look, we've highlighted it. Walks out of the gate, has no idea this Jet Master, and just from here the jockey says, come on, you can see it in the white cow, I think it's the Divine Silks.
Yeah.
And scrubs it up and says, we've got to get into this race, we've got to get in. And the winner is Bruno, who looked very hard to oppose. That's in the orange, getting placed about 4th or 5th. But the horse we found is getting a slap on the neck, and it has 2 stragglers behind it.
Yeah, he's pushing for his life around the turn, Elder de Meer. Bruno's cantering with the blinkers on it up 3rd. And this horse has absolutely no clue what's going on. And he's, as I say, he's a Jet Master. He's in the Divine Silks. They are divine, those silks.
Yeah.
And, you know, Pat and Henry breed a lot of their own horses. And this horse might be quite a nice horse over a bit of ground.
I think so. It's still, as they turn from, they've got 3 to run. Bruno's sort of looking to angle out. The hot favourite, everyone's watching that. And a long way back on the left of your screen in the white cap is this horse, Air Chief Marshal, going absolutely nowhere, trying to lug in, as green as grass, but starting to get a bit of a push from Elder de Meer. Now it's in 6th place, just got into 6th as Bruno set sails for home.
Yeah, and they've got less than a furlong to run. And you watch him, he just gets going there past the furlong post. He's still got to beat another 3 horses to run 3rd. And he just starts running on under a nice hands ride. He'll learn a lot from that, and we think he'll improve quite a lot.
Yeah, no doubt he would run 2nd if he'd have jumped, but he looks a horse to follow. Remember the name, Air Chief Marshal.
Okay, we're going to go on from here and go and have a look at the 2013 Graham Beck Stakes in Blast from the Past, because that's the weekend that's coming up. We'll be with you in a moment.
They're ready to go. Grade 3 Graham Beck Stakes, all clear comes, and gates crash open. Field sent on its way to a good start. Heart of a Lion was the first to respond. Roman Express is up there too. Aurum Pot keeps it out at the rail. Heart of a Lion dropped back into third. Then comes Willow Magic, who's handy. Chief Sue outside of them. Roman Express pulling really hard up front. Gone Baby Gone just behind the first wave. Klondike River. Then comes Shadow of a Smile racing at the fence about 5 lengths from the leader. Kono's one off the rail and keeps it company. Weekend Tempers racing midfield. Whistle Stop is at the fence. Bold Inspiration travels the longest route. Then came Wellesley. Further back in the running, Klondike River lost position. It's racing a number of lengths off the leader. There we go further back in the running to Booklet Top, who races towards the rear, and Gone Baby Gone is flushed out with Principled Man. Top of the straight, 800 metres left to go. Aurum Pot guarded them for home. Second place, Target Territory. Then comes Roman Express in between them. Willow Magic is looming large over towards the inside, and Willow Magic made an early move and took over the lead with 600 metres left to go. Target Territory is hard ridden. Aurum Pot back in third. Whistle Stop is making progress. Shadow of a Smile needs to respond into the last 300 metres, and Willow Magic has caught them flat-footed here. Second place is Whistle Stop. It's got 3 to make up. Then further back to Target Territory and Shadow of a Smile. Willow Magic past the 150, still got a 3-length advantage over Whistle Stop, who's trying to come out, but Willow Magic, Whistle Stop is now getting into full cry. Whistle Stop, a cracking win from Willow Magic. Then came Weekend Temper and Heart of a Lion, finished back and forth.
Well, not only was it a cracking win, but a cracking ride by Anthony Delpeche. Willow Magic might have been suspect over the trip, might just not have got it.
I don't think a 7 would worry him. I know they're preparing him now, if I'm not mistaken, for the Queen's Plate. Sean Terry had a setback and preparing him for the Queen's Plate when I last spoke to Sean, but it was a cracking good run, as you say. Whistle Stop, now, I think he's a Silvano. Where did he go? Did he go overseas?
I'm not sure. I think they might have sold him to Mauritius.
Sure, this was a very good one. He really quickened up, because the third horse, who was Weekend Temper, was well beaten.
Yeah, well, it was, as I said, not this week. The following week is the big ready-to-run cup and the charity mile at Turfentine. You've got to be there if you want to go to some good racing, and this is one of the other races on the program, and always a good race. The Graham Beck shows what type of 3-year-olds we've got. We're going to move on and have a look at the plum of the week.
Top of the lane, Beloved Country, still the leader. Now Rich Girl tries to throw out the challenge. German Lady, African Dream on the outside. Beloved Country, Rich Girl, African Dream on the outside. Beloved Country's flat to the boards. The rider changes the stick, but Rich Girl's coming on powerfully now. Rich Girl and Beloved Country, there's nothing in it, but it's going to go to Rich Girl. Rich Girl has won it. Beloved Country and African Dream involved for second and third, and then Caviar and German Lady.
Well, in all the years that I've been racing, we see this happen a number of times. The stable talk is for one horse, and the weights point absolutely to the other horse, and that's what happened here, and that's why we picked out this filly. 6-1 you could have got on Interbet at some stages. She ended up 5-1 at the death, as much as you liked. 5-1 about this filly. She beat Beloved Country last time. On 1.5 kilos worse terms, she beat her a neck, okay? They'd both come back after a rest. And now Murray didn't claim the 4 kilos, he claimed the 2.5 kilos, so he's 1.5 kilos better off. And she beat her 3/4 of length, which showed that they ran exactly to 4. I mean, ridiculous.
Top 5 are decent fillies. They all ran very good races, I agree with you. But when you work out the weights, it did point to Rich Girl, who was runner-up in the Ellen Robertson. She's a top filly.
Well, it shows you why we picked this horse out is that if you're a form studier and you know what you're looking for, and you listen to the Interbet podcast, you would have been very interested to know that I was convinced that Rich Girl would beat Beloved Country, and so it turned out to be. But every now and again, blind squirrel gets an acorn. So let's move on and go and have a look at current affairs.
Do you want to get the best odds on horse racing and sporting events? For every bet requested, we review all the bookmakers and select the one with the best odds. As a result, you always get the best odds. Interbet offers tote betting, fixed odd multiples, and betting with your mobile phone. To get started, all you need to do is register by filling in your personal information. Log into your account and start wagering.
Right, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs. Once again, no racing or stakes races around the country. They're coming up the next few weeks. There's a lot of big racing coming up, as James alluded to earlier. But we've got some very good racing to come out of the UK. We had 3 massive Group 1 for 2-year-olds that were run on Friday at Newmarket. And we've got the Champion Stakes that came out of Ascot on Saturday. And these are interesting races. So let's get straight into the action, and the first one we're going to show you is the Middle Park Stakes, and it's a Group 1 race for 2-year-olds. Bear in mind, a lot of horses over the years come out of these races ended up being stallions in this country.
That's it, all set. Off and racing. 6 runners leave the stalls for the Vision.A Middle Park Stakes. Muharrar is swiftly into stride. Meanwhile, Ivorwood is ploughing moments alone furrow up the centre of the racecourse, right up with the leaders, who are Muharrar and Cool Company. Ivorwood now moving over to join them. Settles in around about 3rd place. Charming Thought comes next, just ahead of the Warrior. And Capella San Severo is at the rear of the field. Racing through the first 2 furlongs, Muharrar in blue and white. The big white face of Cool Company. Ivorwood out towards the centre of the racecourse in the purple jacket. Only about half a length between the trio. The Warrior on the rails, then Charming Thought and Capella San Severo in the noseband, tracking chief market rival Ivorwood as they make their way now and begin to make their point to 2.5 furlongs to travel and shortly run down into the dip. Muharrar has seen off Cool Company. Ivorwood still travels strongly. Charming Thought, Capella San Severo with work to do. They now move down into the dip. Ivorwood, Muharrar, Charming Thought running a big race. Capella San Severo has got a couple of lengths to find. Ivorwood is out in front, but it is hard work. Charming Thought over on the far side is throwing down a sustained challenge. Charming Thought for William Buick. Ivorwood on the near side. Charming Thought and Ivorwood head for head as they go to the line. Charming Thought narrowly may have won. It's close. Charming Thought and Ivorwood.
Well, there we go. What a great race. And Charlie Appleby and William Buick being the conditioner and rider of the winning horse, Richard Hughes and young Richard Hannon, the connections of the second horse. We're looking at some of the wages they put on this horse. £4,000 to £5,000.
They ended up 1 to 2, the second horse, the Hannon horse.
Yeah.
But Charlie Appleby, he's like the new trainer for Godolphin, and really a fantastic race and 2 very, very nice fillies. But we're going to move on and have a look at the Dubai Fillies Mile. It's a Group 1 as well. And this was all on Friday at Newmarket. Now, these 3 races are the pointers to the classics. And this might end up winning the Fillies Guineas, this horse Together Forever. Let's go and have a look at her winning the Dubai Fillies Mile.
Chalk is edgy in stall 4. Handler moves in to assist. That's it, racing in Dubai Fillies Mile. And jumping out well, Lucida is restrained early on as Marsh Hawk, heading over towards the near side rail, is the first one to show to any advantage. And it's Marsh Hawk setting a reasonable test from in second place Winter's Moon in the red cap. Best placed of the Godolphin trio, who fill the next 3 places. The white cap belonging to Good Place, Lucida in the all blue. 4 off the rails, Together Forever in the dark blue, just ahead of Agnes Stewart. And now Forte is keen, because having got to the front, Richard Hughes is trying to drop anchor on Marsh Hawk, who is just a little bit exuberant out in the lead as they race past the 5. Leading from in second place, that shared between Winter's Moon, who tracks the leader on the rail, the white cap of Good Place, and then Lucida, who is wider out. Widest of all is Together Forever. No move yet from either Agnes Stewart or the red cap of Forte. Halfway, Marsh Hawk now really trying to get a sit in, trying to fill the tank, and leading from in second place Good Place. Lucida in third place, disputing that with Winter's Moon, whose path is slightly blocked at the moment. Then Together Forever, another one looking for daylight, will be Agnes Stewart. So a tactical ride here by Richard Hughes. Went hard enough early, but then's got a big sit round about halfway. Leads as they make their way down inside the 2, beginning to wind it up from good place. Lucida being gathered together, then Together Forever. Red Cap then of Winter's Moon make their way down into the dip. Lucida throws down the challenge, pressed immediately by Together Forever, and then back in 3rd place on the rails. Marshhawk battling on. It's Together Forever in a bunch finish here. Red Cap of Winter's Moon switched out. Then Agnes Stewart. Together Forever needs the line. Winter's Moon and Agnes Stewart are closing, but it's Together Forever who is home in front. Together Forever won it. Agnes Stewart and Winter's Moon tight for 2nd and 3rd.
A cracking race to the Dubai fillies, and again 3 horses going over the line. Close up, Together Forever from the O'Brien team. You can see from the Silks, and young Joseph riding it for him, another Group 1 for them. But Angus Stewart and Winter's Moon, James, both cracking good runs.
Yes, I think that those are 3 very good fillies, and it will be very interesting to see what happens in their 3-year-old career. But Together Forever does have that look of a filly that's really improving, and I think that she might be the horse to back Anti-Post, certainly for the Oaks, and maybe even for the Guineas.
Yeah, I agree with you. So let's go look at the 3rd one we're bringing you, and this is a race that's had a bit of an influence, and it's the Dubai Doer Stakes. It's a Group 1 race, and it's over 7 furlongs. Let's have a look at this one.
And they're off for the Group 1 Dubai Dewhurst Stakes. SD Car just a little bit slow to gather stride. He was scratchy on the way down to the start, and is currently at the rear of the field. Early on, Secret Brief it is who leads from Cody Bear, and out wider Smuggler's Cove. Racing in 4th place is Bellardo. Then the blue colours of Maftool and SD Car, just taking a little bit of time to warm up, is still well in touch with the field at the back as they make their way down inside the final 5 furlongs. Cody Bear, blue sleeves on the rails. The green and red colours of Secret Brief, and Smuggler's Cove is 3 wide. Behind Smuggler's Cove, the blue colours of Maftool. SD Car now warming to the task out in the centre of the racecourse, and covered up closer to the rails in the maroon colours is Bellardo. So Cody Bear leading narrowly from Secret Brief, then Smuggler's Cove. Towards the outside, Maftool and SD Car. And then Bellardo as they make their way now down inside the final 3 furlongs. Cody Bear being taken on by Secret Brief. Smuggler's Cove coming there strongly. Away to the left-hand side, SD Car now beginning to improve. The all-blue colours of Maftool. They head down into the dip. Still a wave of horses. Cody Bear, Bellardo can't get through under the near side rail. Appears to have running left if it can do so. Smuggler's Cove, SD Car out in the centre. The gap's there now for Bellardo, who comes out of the pack to throw down the challenge to Cody Bear, and Bellardo had to buff it through, but is now in full cry and is coming away to win the Dubai Dewhurst Stakes. Bellardo wins for Roger Bear, a punch of the air from the rider. Cody Bear was 2nd, in 3rd Smuggler's Cove, and SD Car was only 4th.
Yeah, an impressive win, Bellardo. Roger Varian had said it would run well. He had Atzeni riding it, Andrea Atzeni, and James, this looked like it wasn't going to get a run.
Well, what fascinated me was certainly it didn't look like it was going to get a run, but how often do you see a 2-year-old in England wearing a set of blinkers?
Yeah.
In America, every horse starts with blinkers virtually. This horse had a set of blinkers on him, and I've never seen a horse win the Dewhurst with blinkers on. I don't recall this or any one of these 2-year-old feature races. So obviously Roger Varian decided that this horse needed the blinkers, and Atenzi is supposedly the new Frankie Dettori in England.
Yeah, he's a good rider.
He pushed his way through, didn't he?
Yeah, a day that I suppose Richard Hannon went there with a lot of favourites and they got rolled, eh?
No, he wouldn't be very happy with the day, but you know,
that's racing.
Yeah, these are the things that happen. We're going to go and have a look at the Saturday race meeting. We'll chat about the Saturday race meeting, but we're going to, shall we chat about it first? Let's have a chat about the Saturday race meeting first, because Archie Penko had a Group 1 winner.
Fantastic.
You know, which is absolutely amazing. She won the Fillies Mile, Madam Chang, trained by David Simcox. Jim Crowley rode it. And the interesting thing is that not only is Archie Penko a South African connection, because Mike de Kock trained him, but the 3rd dam was by Hawaii.
Jeez.
So he keeps having an influence, Hawaii.
There was an Archie Penko for sale up at the Ready to Run in Cape Town, the CTS Ready to Run. There was an Archie Penko.
I think it went for a lot of money.
Went for a lot of money, and rightly so.
A couple of other things that happened. Well, Gordon Lord Byron won the British Champions Sprint.
Did you watch that? Bustle its way through. I watched that. That horse is well travelled.
He's been all over the place.
There's a race available, he goes, and he's He got beat the other day and he's come back. I think he went to Australia.
Yeah.
And he came back and I watched the race. He couldn't win and he ended up winning by about a length and a half. He's just a very good horse.
Very, very good horse. And you know, you always think of Shay, you know, when these races are run, because you wish that he'd been, ended up being sound. He would have been able to beat them all. The other thing that was very interesting about the day was Dermot Weld produced a 2-time winner for the British Champion Stayers race. It's had 2 runs. And has won 2. It won a bumper in Ireland.
A bumper?
Yeah. And then it won a little listed race at Galway. Okay. And he takes us to a Group 1 in England, and it won. And you know,
he's a great trainer.
Dermot Weld, Pat Smullen rode the horse. It was all at sea. It was all over the place. But what a win. Forgotten Rules, its name is by Naif. And Dermot Weld said, well, he's going to put it away now. It's a 4-year-old. He only ran it twice as a 4-year-old, never ran as a 3-year-old or 2-year-old. He said, you've got to give these horses a bit of time and they'll be all right.
He's a very good trainer, a free thinker.
Good trainer. He's one of the best horsemen around, I think, ever.
Very, very good trainer.
Do you remember when he came over here and rode in the hurdle races?
No, James, Jesus, come on, keep it tidy.
Yeah, it was before you were born.
Way before
but we were around. Alistair Gordon rode in the hurdle race, Rodney Clarkin, there were a lot of them.
All against him. What was he like?
He won it. He was. I think the horse's name was Poplin. I think that Rodney Clarkin schooled a horse for him. I think that, I seem to remember it was Cyril Hurwitz's horse.
Okay.
Dermot Weld. He was a very good jump jockey, very good amateur rider.
He's a very good trainer.
And then obviously where we're going to go and have a look now is the big race, which was
Champion Stakes.
Champion Stakes, you know, and this was just one of the most amazing races ever.
Yeah, James, you and I had the privilege of reading the write-up afterwards of the race. It was a fantastic write-up.
What was the guy's name? It was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant write-up.
It is one of the most passionate articles I've seen written about a horse race. You'll come to me.
Was it on Sporting Post?
Yes.
.com for anyone that wants to go there and have a look?
Was it Sporting Post? You pulled it out. You actually showed me.
Oh, no. It was actually on Daily Racing Form. If you go to Daily Racing Form, any of you fans out there, DRF, you can subscribe. It's a fantastic insight into all the races all around the world. They have these, if you click on the race, they have this article on the race, and the write-up was
I'm just trying to think, I know the writer well, I can see him, I just can't think of his name, but it is one of the great, great articles that you read in racing, and make an effort of getting out there and reading an article about this race. And this race, he basically goes along and says the shadow of Henry Cecil, who was being Frankel's brother, and how his wife's carried it through, and how everyone still remembers the mighty Frankel and the guts. And James, this is 2 great horses fighting out a race, because he referred to, I think, Grundy and horses like that, the great battles of yesteryear. And watching the race, I didn't think the eventual winner would win, but it's a ride where, what makes it interesting in the article, James Doyle rides the winner, and he stepped up to fame on the runner-up.
Yeah, Al-Kazim.
Al-Kazim.
He always rode Al-Kazim up till last year.
Yeah, so he took on his old mate, and for the record, the Cirrus des Aigles was the favourite, a very good horse who'd done everything right. And the second favourite was an Irish visitor who came into town called Free Eagle. Dermot Weld brought that into town. So it looked set up to be a great race, and it's at Ascot. And let's go and have a look at the Champion Stakes.
And they're off and racing for the Kipco Champion Stakes, and early on Noble Mission is encouraged into the lead. Keep an eye on Cirrus des Aigles from wider out. Christophe Soumillon is pressing forward, just trying to get behind Al-Kazim early on. Pether's Moon and Ruler of the World just trying to hold Cirrus des Aigles deep. Sheikh Zayed Road is off the back end. So as they prepare already to swing at the far end of the racecourse, Noble Mission leads by a length from Al-Kazim. Cirrus des Aigles has a little bit of cover on the outside, with Ruler of the World in 3rd place, just ahead of Cirrus des Aigles. Then Pether's Moon. On the rails is Free Eagle early on, ahead of Western Hymn. Then Arad and Sheikh Zayed Road is at the rear of the field. So they're already swinging right-handed. 3 furlongs behind them, Noble Mission stretching on out in front from Ruler of the World to dispute second place with Al-Kazim. Cirrus de Zegler still held 3 wide with Free Eagle up the rails, and between the pair Pether's Moon. Arad comes next alongside Western Him as they pass the 6, with Sheikh Zayed Road at the tail of the field. So it's Noble Mission leading by just over a length or so from Ruler of the World, and then in third place on the outside Al-Kazim. Cirrus de Zegler making a little bit of ground, but is still wide on the track from Pether's Moon, then Free Eagle. Behind these, Western Him, then Arad and Sheikh Zayed Road. Noble Mission still racing exuberantly on the front end as they enter the final half mile. Al-Kazim and Ruler of the World poised. Cirrus de Zegler circles them. Free Eagle on the rails with Pether's Moon. Western Him tries to improve. Noble Mission bidding to emulate Frankel, passes the 3 out in front. Ruler of the World is pushed along. Al-Kazim travelling really strongly. Cirrus de Zegler under quite a bit of pressure. Pether's Moon's path was blocked, then Free Eagle. It is out in front, Noble Mission, with Al-Kazim hunting down the leader. Cirrus de Zegler's paddling back in the field. Free Eagle trying to get organised and launch a challenge at the front pair. Noble Mission on the far side. Al-Kazim on the near side. Free Eagle is trying to breach the gap. Has 3 lengths to find. Noble Mission digging in. Al-Kazim drawing alongside. Head for head. The Champion Stakes in the balance. Noble Mission clinging on narrowly. Noble Mission from Al-Kazim. All out. Noble Mission. Noble Mission has won the Champion Stakes. A punch of the air. Lady Cecil and James Doyle, Frankel's full brother.
Well, there we go. Frankel's full brothers in the Juddmonte International, coloured Abdullah's colours, and for all intents and purposes, I really thought the second horse was going to get him. And James, it's one of those great rides and great races.
Well, you say it's one of the great rides. Fell foul of the stewards,
yes,
which I think is, I really, you know, that's my feeling.
Because they've changed the rules, yeah.
Well, he got £10,000 fine, James Doyle, and a 7-day suspension. Do you know what that costs a man like him?
Yeah.
And when you think about it, all he's trying to do is win the race. The horse will come back. He'll be jumping and freshing in the paddock today. He'll be absolutely perfect after the run. And James Doyle is just encouraging him to try and get him to win the race.
Yeah,
I know there'll be those bunny huggers out there who will say, oh, it's so cruel. But the horse has got a thick hide on them. And I must tell you, it takes a lot to...
These new whips are like roll of newspaper.
Nothing, yeah. A roll of newspaper.
Yeah.
Imagine if our headmaster had caned us with a roll of newspaper in the old days. We would have laughed.
Imagine if Sean Veal was a headmaster.
Oh, well,
but let's talk about Lady Cecil. And she was there today, and she said her husband was smiling down on her. And James, spare a thought for Roger Charlton's horse. Now, you know, the runner-up, as he says in this article, had gone to stud, Al-Kazim, was a flop. And he said, I'm going to try and rejuvenate it. And they brought it back. And then the last couple of runs have been outstanding. That he's got this horse back. So there's a lot of twist to the story, James. Yeah. And a great race.
Well, when you read the article in DRF, it starts off with 300 years ago when they were turning the sods to make Ascot Racecourse.
That's
300 years ago, okay? They never would have imagined the drama that was going to unfold on this racecourse. And this was one of those most dramatic. You know, Grundy was dramatic. But every year, this race just produces something really exciting.
James, it's a race that is always a tough time of the year. All your big ones are gone. The Breeders' Cup has now come along.
And it's after the Arc, you see.
It's after the Arc. You must remember the Martin Nijinsky got beaten this race. I think he got beaten the Arc by Sassafras.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Sassafras.
No, like you don't remember.
Sassafras beat Nijinsky in the Arc.
Yeah.
And they went to Bridge too far. They came back to Champion Stakes with Nijinsky.
But it was at Newmarket. It was a mile and a quarter at Newmarket.
Was it a mile and a quarter at Newmarket? And he got beat again.
Yeah.
He had 2 seconds at the end of his career. He was tired. It just says it's the end of the year. So to see 2 horses do this just makes you want to enjoy your racing. You've got to get out there and love the game when you see a race like that. And Cirrus de Zegler, he's getting on. He's a gelding. He hasn't quite put it together.
He'll keep on racing.
He'll and the Irish horse ran a good race in third.
Yeah. Let's go to Australia and have a look at Caulfield Cup, you know, which is the big build-up to the Melbourne Cup, was won by the Japanese. They arrived in town. Zach Burton rode this horse.
Good rider.
And this is now favourite for the Melbourne Cup. Admire Rakiti. He's by Heart's Cry out of a Elisio mare. And it's quite amazing.
It was a tough race, wasn't it? Tough finish.
There was, if you watched the websites, about 2 weeks ago, there was an amazing picture of this horse being attacked by a stable companion in the quarantine station. The one horse was on his back legs attacking this horse with stable with work riders on. They were going to the track to be worked, and this was the horse that was attacked. Well, he came and attacked all the Australians, put them to bed, and he's now favourite for the Cup. And as I said last time, and I'll keep on saying, I think the Aussies can never win the Cup again with an Aussie, Aussie connection. They might be able to buy something.
The Melbourne Cup's going to be tough for them because of their speed pedigrees, but just shows how strong the racing is.
Yeah. Gary Stevens in America had a knee replacement. 51 years old, had a knee replacement. He's back trotting horses, so he'll be back in the saddle.
He's had more comebacks than Status Quo. But he's one of the great riders, Gary Stevens.
And then
what's the last?
There's nothing left except the real saddest thing that could happen to us. We lost our great friend and
our colleague,
and just one of the great guys in racing, Jimmy Lithgow, during the week. It was
absolute
terrible.
shock to me. I remember when he left Teletrack, I sent him a long letter and said I appreciated him because he spoke proper English. He was an actor. Do you remember Invictus? He played the part of the
all the sheep.
No, the exact words is "all your gold for all our sheep." He had, that was his only line in the movie. He was sitting next to Morgan Freeman, and that was the bet for the rugby final. So he will be sorely missed. And to Elaine and Aidan, our thoughts are with you. And to me, one of the great guys in the game, a guy who spoke English properly, and I loved that about him.
Yeah, and he was a racing man. He loved racing. I think he got the thin end of the wedge quite often, because he stood up for himself. He stood up for what he thought was right, and it just a really, really sad passing.
Sad day for racing, losing Jimmy.
And hopefully the racing industry will remember him by naming a race after him or something, because he was one of those people who gave his whole life to this business.
And it's nice to see that Aidan is carrying on with making videos and pursuing.
They got this project that they were working on, which is Champions of the Turf. It's a champion series, and I actually spoke to Jimmy about a week ago because he is looking for an actor to play the part of Cookie Amos.
There's only one person for that.
No, there's only one person.
Only one person for that.
Yeah.
Dog shot.
Shall we leave it to? Shall we leave? No, will you now let the cat out?
Well, other people don't know.
See if anyone can give us the right answer.
We want to look alike for Cookie.
Cookie Amos.
Yeah.
He's a KwaZulu-Natal trainer.
Send your suggestions. we think there's a Natal trainer who's a ringer.
Probably as good a trader too.
Yeah, probably.
A Sharpie that.
Sharpie.
Dog shot.
Dog shots. Sharpie. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it. And on that unhappy note, we wish you a very great week's racing, and we're going to be watching this insert.
The Corporate Social Investment Project and what they're doing, as well as the winners, the graduates from the Magic Millions sales.
Someone once said, "We believe young people are the future of our industry. Their development will help create dedicated fans, employees, and hopefully the horsemen of tomorrow." One of the pillars of Gold Circle corporate social initiatives is founded on transformation. The industry's future depends on attracting and retaining a robust horse player base which includes top-class jockeys. A visit to the South African Jockey Academy was arranged for the jockey participants of that race meeting so that they could get exposed to what it means to become a professional jockey. This opportunity was extended to other aspiring jockeys residing around Willerfontein, Pietermaritzburg. Gold Circle is committed to developing and promoting rural racing. At the 2013 Gold Circle Willerfontein Christmas Cup Rural Race Meeting, we were pleasantly surprised by the talents that were displayed by some of these aspiring jockeys. The boys arrived at the academy in a jovial mood where they were treated to some breakfast.
How we fill our day at the academy, and then we're going to go on a tour.
Graham Bailey delivered a sterling presentation on how one can become a professional jockey.
You see some periods working on the balance. So while he's doing his exercises, because you're on the horse, you've got to have that balance.
After the presentation, the group was given an opportunity to visit the gym. Whilst they were there, the first-year apprentices showcased their acquired gym skills. It was explained to them that fitness and training is one of the major components of the training program. After the gym session, discussions around food portion sizes, weight of the jockeys, and the training hours could be overheard.
But all of this, the whole lot here, none of them had ridden on horses before. So it's a first experience for them.
The Jockey Academy first-year apprentices staged an indoor arena demonstration of how to properly mount and ride a horse. The boys' eyes glistened with a mixture of fear and excitement, as this was their first time they were up and close to a thoroughbred horse. The group was so enthralled by the indoor demonstration, such that the third-year students at the academy staged a racetrack simulation for them. After the demonstration, one of the horses was seen to be cooling off itself in the sand, a phenomenon which they found quite intriguing because they'd never been exposed to such horse behavior. Amongst the group was a 9-year-old talented boy named Gobegani Gama, known as Shorty. Robert Movis, the current chairman of Gold Circle, is thoroughly enthralled by this young man's talent and was applauded for a sterling performance.
You must look after his energy for the race, and on the right you see the speed and effort. And if he pulls on the rein, you see the rein and the bit goes, and also you've got balance. On here, if he balances wrong, slow the horse down. On here you've got sensors, so when you hit the horse, it tells you how hard you hit the horse, so you don't hit the horse too hard. Push it this way, when you start pushing now, push and pull your stick. Alright, now he's starting to win the race once you start pushing.
One of the apprentice jockeys volunteered to show off their riding skills on the equicizer horse. For the rural jockeys, this was quite an experience as they realized it was not as easy as it looked. Shorty, who had shot to fame while riding his dad's horse named Izinkulumo at the 2013 Gold Circle Willerfontein Christmas Cup Rural Race Meeting, came out as the most talented amongst the group on the equicizer. This young man is currently on a Gold Circle bursary for horse riding lessons. Towards the end of the day, the group was treated to lunch. The future of rural racing is dependent on attracting and retaining a robust young, talented individuals who are passionate about the horse. We hope this trip has left an indelible mark on these young minds in wanting to succeed in their journey of becoming a jockey. We look forward to transforming the community with you in the future.